Hello everybody, how's it going? I'm really excited to be making videos like this because turns out some of my subscribers on here also love chains, and I'm specifically going to be talking about the Cuban links because people are asking what sizes and what lengths they should get. Now, just to be honest with you, I feel like if you want a 3, because the only 3 sizes I've tried are the 3, the 5, and the 7mm on myself, right? But the 3mm, I would only recommend if you want to throw a pendant on it, just so there's something that kind of guides your eye, because it's definitely a lot smaller in person. And to me, the first time I saw it, I actually returned it immediately because it was just, I couldn't really see the detailing of the Cuban link as much as I wanted to see it from further away. It kind of just looked like your regular old, like, not old, just like your regular skinny chain, you know? So if you want the 3, I would say it looks best with a pendant on it, and then it'll just be like a nice clean look, right? And also the length that I got with the 3mm was 22 inches. Now, mind you, 22 inches seems to be the perfect length for guys, but on me, that shit was dangling too long. And I have my first impression video of that chain up if you want to check it out. But dude, that thing was coming like all the way down here. And I mean, it was cool, but not really my vibe. You know what I mean? So for me, 22, I think is a solid length for, you know, for guys, because you have like, you know, like broader, like thicker necks and things like that. So it's a nice look, right? Now, the one I have in my hands is the 5mm, and this thing is just so nice. By the way, all the chains that I tried were from Jackson, and the thing I like about them is that the base metal is sterling silver, and then according to their website, it's triple dipped in gold, the same gold that they use for their solid pieces, which is pretty nice. But yeah, I would always think to myself, I'm like, you know what? If the chain fades, I'm still left with a nice, like an authentic silver chain. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. So I didn't want something that had like a stainless steel base, just because at least when I've seen stainless steel things on people and I ask them about like their necklaces, they're like, oh yeah, that one rusted a while ago, or it goes bad really fast. So for me, sterling silver, the way to go if you want something plated, right? But anyways, this 5mm is a 20-inch chain that is amazing. I really do love this one. Let me see if I can kind of put it on for you real quick. Yeah, by the way, in the men's chains, I like how, I do like their clasps. They're just very, like, it's just very simple. Because the thing with the women's, the one that I have on my neck right now, is that there's like this frilly bit, because it's supposed to be used for like adjusting if you want to make the chain longer, but it just, like, it looks too like unstable for me, where like anything can kind of snap it and it could break the chain, and I don't like that. But the men's is pretty solid. I like the clasp of it. Other people are like, no, box locks are better, and I have yet to even wear a box lock chain. So I mean, but no complaints with this. Really, it's simple, man. It's simple. Okay, let me see if I can put this on here. All right, cool. We got it the first try. Now, I'm not going to take this one off, because if you've watched my videos, I don't really like to take off my chains. So this is what 20 inches looks like on me. I'm 5'5", and this is 5mm. So even when you're kind of far away from me, it looks kind of nice. I know that's probably not that far, but with my experiences with people in real life, they have loved the 20-inch 5mm chain. Like, it gets attention, but it's subtle at the same time, and that's what I like about it. It's not something that's trying too hard to be noticed. It's not a gaudy looking chain. It's just really, it's smooth, it's sleek, and it's just, you're like, okay, it's a subtle, noticeable type of chain, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I think even if you do want to throw a pendant on this one, you can, But I like that you can immediately pick up on the detailing of the Cuban link the closer that you get to it. So for me, that was a big thing. Now, the downside with the 20 inches for me personally was that I like to wear crew necks. You know, when I get cold, I'm not really much of a hoodie person. I'm more of a crew neck person. And with this chain in particular, if I had it over the crew neck, it still looked a bit too masculine for my taste because it was just kind of dangling out there. So I would definitely go more for the tucked in chain look because it looked kind of sick too when you kind of just only see, like if this is covered and you only see like this portion of the chain, it's cool. Like I really, really do love it. But yeah, that's the only downside. I think if I can come up with another one, or you know what, this can be something that might irritate people, is that with the 5mm chain, it can roll over easier when you're going about and you're being active and doing things. It can kind of roll, and then you might have to kind of just, you know, reline it up, or just, you know, make sure like everything's straightened out and you should be good, right? But that's kind of really the only downside that I noticed with the 5mm, but that's just because it's lighter in weight, and that's not really too much of a downside. It's kind of what's expected, to be honest. Now, another thing I'm going to say is I have worn this chain. It's been less than 2 months since I've got it, and before I received this one, I never ever took this off. Like, I wore this to the beach multiple times, the pool multiple times, jacuzzi, every single shower that I've had, which is a lot in the span of less than 2 months. I've slept with it. And I know most people will tell you, you shouldn't do that with your jewelry. You should take it off and then just make sure that it looks really nice and clean it. I have yet to clean these. I know, to me, I'm like, I'm in the shower, they're clean, but I know that I need to do my research on that. This is kind of a new hobby with me loving chains and things like that. So I'll look into it, but it still looks great. It hasn't faded. Another question that I've received, again, I'm not really even expecting it to fade within a month or two, because that would also be a red flag, but it still looks great, right? Now, another thing is people have asked me how it is when I wear fragrances, because, you know, this is around the neck area, and how I apply my fragrance is one behind each ear, the back of my neck, and then the backs of my shoulder blades. And I would apply a fragrance almost every day, and this thing still looks really, really nice. Now, you know, only time will tell to see how good or how sturdy this will actually be, but no complaints. I feel like if you're somebody that just wants a nice piece, you want to treat yourself, and you don't want to drop like $2,500, $5,000 on, or more, on a gold chain, then it's cool. Like, I don't mind having these pieces for as long as they'll stay nice. And I'm going to assume it's going to be at least a couple years, especially with the heavy use that I do. You know what I mean? I don't expect these to start fading until maybe a year in, but I will definitely keep you updated with how that goes. Now, if you're wondering if I layer my necklaces like this, I will only do it around one person, and that person is my girlfriend, because she actually loves the layered look of both the Cubans. To her, it's just like, she's like, it's super hot. She just loves the way that they look together. But for me, it can be a bit much, especially if I'm just kind of in regular clothes and then I just have these two chains popping out. So that's the reason why in the beginning of this video, and even after this video, I only rock the one. And around her, I'll rock them both. But let me just take this out for you real fast. But the 5, I think a really solid number, like a solid chain to start with. If you don't know what number to pick from, you're worried about something being too small or too gaudy, this is the perfect in between for women, for men. I really don't think you can ever go wrong with a 5mm. Like I said, anything under a 5, maybe with the exception of the 4, but definitely a 3, a 2, throw a pendant on that one, you know, because you might kind of be disappointed with how small it is and with nothing really kind of attracting it, or nothing really drawing the eye to it. Now, with my favorite chain, the one on my neck, let me put this down real fast. This is a 7mm 17-inch Cuban link. And I don't want to take it off because this thing took forever for me to put on. And I'm not going to embarrass myself for 5 minutes trying to put it back on for you all. But this is the piece I was talking about that kind of irritates me, is that, of course, you can kind of attach this anywhere you want to lengthen the chain. But to me, I put it in the smallest because I want it closer to my neck. But this right here, I just feel like, I don't know, one accidental pull and it can just break everything off. And I don't like that, man. Only problem I have with this chain is that, and this is a women's chain, right? The one that's 20 inches is the men's. And I think the shortest that the men's go is 20 inches long. Now, keep in mind, if you're a guy watching this right now, the way the 20-inch looks on you, like looks on me, is going to be different on you. This might actually be the way a 20-inch chain looks on you, like around this kind of length on your, like down on your neck. But for me, this is a 17-inch chain right here, and I love it. I don't think that the 7mm is too gaudy. I think that, to me, this is perfect. I'm really, really happy that I decided on this one, because even like no matter where I go, you could still see it, but it's not too much. For me, like the 9s, the 10s, 8, I haven't really had much experience with. I've never tried the 8s, but they're so close to the 7 that the difference isn't that noticeable. But with the 9s, those can kind of start looking a bit too much. And I'm specifically talking about Cuban links. Of course, with rope chains, they could, like, those just look bigger in general, right? But the 7 is just so, like, I think, here's what I'll say. The 5 is the safest one to start with. And if you want to upgrade from there, totally do it. Get yourself a 7, get yourself an 8. And all the ladies that are watching this, 7 looks fine on us, all right? Don't think that, okay, if I get a 7 or an 8, it's going to be too big on me. It's going to look too masculine on me. It's going to draw too much attention, because it's just, to me, the perfect size. I'm around like 115 pounds, 5'5", and like I have a small build, and it doesn't look heavy on me. It's just there. Like I really, really do love this piece a lot. And the farther I go, you can noticeably tell that it's a Cuban link, and I really do love that. This also, it's not as subtle as the 5, but it's still not, hey, look at me. It's not trying to get everybody's attention, but it's just such a sick, clean, sleek look. I really do love it. Anyways, I hope this was helpful in helping you decide which one you should get. Again, with the fragrances, I've worn my fragrances with my chains, and nothing has happened as of yet. Knock on wood, I don't want anything to happen. But I'm going to continue using them and giving you monthly updates on how these chains are holding up, how they're performing. Because, like I said, I don't take these off. So you'll really see how long they can last from somebody that uses them day in, day out, all sorts of weather. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.